Long ago, in ancient Sind, lived a man named Aris. People called him the Flame Bearer. He was known for his skill with fire. One night, Aris had a powerful vision. He saw pieces of meat, glowing with an inner light, cooking over flames. This vision guided him to create a new dish. He marinated chunks of meat with simple, fragrant spices. Then he cooked them over a crackling fire. This was the very first tikka. The aroma that rose was entirely new and captivating. This early tikka was a wonderfully simple creation. Imagine tender pieces of lamb or goat. Aris would have used what was locally available. The marinade was likely yogurt, ginger, garlic, and perhaps some wild herbs. He would thread the meat onto skewers. Then he roasted it carefully over hot embers. The outside became beautifully charred. The inside remained incredibly juicy and full of flavor. It was often served with freshly baked flatbreads, a truly communal and satisfying meal for all. The idea of tikka did not stay confined to Sind. Like many good things, it began to travel. Traders carrying their precious goods like spices and textiles also carried stories and recipes. Warriors, always on the move, took their food habits with them. Along the dusty, ancient trade routes and across wide rivers, the concept of tikka spread. It was a practical dish, easy to prepare with minimal equipment, perfect for a traveler's meal under the stars or a soldier's quick sustenance. Eventually, this simple, fire-kissed dish reached the bustling Delhi Sultanate. This was a new land, with its own rich culinary traditions. Local cooks quickly embraced the idea of tikka. They started to experiment with it. They added their own unique masalas, their special spice blends. Each region within the Sultanate had its own distinct flavors. So the tikka began a slow transformation. It started to absorb new tastes, new aromas, and new stories, reflecting the diverse cultures it encountered on its journey. After the Delhi Sultanate, a new power rose in India. This was the magnificent Mughal Empire. It was an era of incredible art, architecture, and opulence. The Mughal emperors were known for their grand courts. They also had a deep appreciation for fine food. Their royal kitchens were legendary places. They were filled with skilled chefs and exotic ingredients from far-off lands. Persian culture, with its sophisticated culinary arts, brought a significant new influence to Indian cooking during this period. This set the stage for another evolution of tikka. Emperor Akbar, one of the greatest Mughal rulers, was a true connoisseur. He actively encouraged the arts, including the culinary arts. His court attracted talented people from all over, including many skilled chefs from Persia. These chefs brought with them new techniques and ingredients. They introduced the art of making rich, creamy sauces. They used groundnuts like almonds and cashews to add body and luxury. Spices were used with great subtlety, creating complex yet balanced flavors. Their influence began to shape many Indian dishes. It was during this Mughal era that tikka began to change quite dramatically. A new style emerged, featuring a creamy, often tomato-based sauce. This was a significant departure from the original dry, grilled tikka. Tomatoes, though they arrived in India later, found their way into this evolving dish. They added a pleasant tanginess and a vibrant, appealing color. The sauce itself was rich, often made with yogurt, cream, and ground nuts. The dish became more luxurious, fit for the emperor's table. This Mughal-influenced tikka was a world away from Aris's simple creation. It was no longer just pieces of grilled meat. It was tender morsels of chicken or lamb, gently simmered in a smooth, aromatic sauce. The spices were carefully balanced. The heat was often mild, allowing the fragrant notes of cardamom, cinnamon, and mace to shine through. This was a dish designed to delight the senses. It represented a more refined, courtly style of Indian cuisine, a true taste of the sophisticated Mughal lifestyle. Many years later, a new group of people arrived in India. The British came, first as traders, then as rulers. They established the British Raj. Kolkata, then called Calcutta, became a very important city. For a long time, it was the capital of British India. Many British officials, soldiers, and their families lived there. They naturally missed the food from their homes in Britain. However, they were also curious about the local Indian cuisine. This led to an interesting intermingling of culinary traditions. The British encountered a vast array of Indian foods. Some dishes they found far too spicy for their liking. Others captivated them with their complex and aromatic flavors. What many British desired were dishes that offered a taste of the exotic East, but they also wanted something that was not too challenging to their palates. They sought a comfortable middle ground, something familiar perhaps, but with an intriguing Indian twist. This created a demand for a new style of Anglo-Indian cooking. The local chefs in Kolkata were very resourceful and skilled. They understood the preferences of their new patrons. They began to adapt traditional Indian recipes to suit British tastes. For instance, they might reduce the amount of chili. They might add more cream or butter to make dishes milder and richer. They sometimes used different combinations of spices. Their goal was to create dishes that would please the British officials and their families. This was also a way for them to showcase their culinary adaptability and creativity. So, tikka and dishes like it started another transformation. It began to evolve into a fusion dish. This was where Indian culinary techniques met British preferences. The sauce, if there was one, might have become thicker, more like a gravy that the British were accustomed to. The flavors were often mellowed. This was not yet the chicken tikka masala that is famous worldwide today. However, the journey of adaptation was well underway. The dish was slowly but surely moving closer to its modern incarnation, shaped by colonial encounters. Let us journey forward in time to the 20th century. After the World Wars, many people from South Asia migrated to Britain. They brought with them their rich cultural heritage, including their wonderful food. They began to open restaurants, sharing the flavors of their homelands. Cities like Glasgow in Scotland became vibrant centers for this new culinary scene. These restaurants became popular, not just with the South Asian community, but with British people eager to try new tastes. Innovation was in the air. There is a very popular story about how the modern chicken tikka masala was born. It is said to have happened in Glasgow sometime in the 1970s. A British customer in an Indian restaurant ordered chicken tikka. He found the grilled chicken pieces a bit too dry for his liking. He asked the chef if he could have some gravy with it. The chef, thinking quickly, improvised. He is said to have used a can of tomato soup, some yogurt or cream, and a blend of spices to create a quick sauce. Whether this exact story is true or not, it captures the spirit of invention. This creation, or something very like it, was the beginning of chicken tikka masala as we know it. The key elements were the tender pieces of tandoor cooked chicken, and of course, that signature creamy, mildly spiced, tangy tomato sauce. It had a beautiful orange hue. This dish perfectly suited the British palate. It was flavorful, but not overly spicy. It soon became incredibly popular, a staple in Indian restaurants across the UK. Today, chicken tikka masala is a true global culinary icon. It is often humorously called Britain's national dish, a testament to its immense popularity there. You can find it on menus in restaurants all over the world. From London to New York, from Sydney to Tokyo, people love it. Chefs continue to experiment with the recipe, adding their own personal touches. This dish beautifully symbolizes cultural fusion. It shows how food travels, adapts, and brings people together in a shared quest for delicious flavors.